We are live.
We are live.
That's great.
Started pretty quick this time.
What?
Started pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yesterday took a little longer.
Yeah.
Well, good afternoon.
Oh yeah, it is afternoon now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one.
For some reason, like this semester, I can't keep up with my classes. Like I keep forgetting, like what time it ends and what time it starts.
Yeah. Mine start pretty late semester, so it's kind of weird.
This is your first class?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's
That's
weird.
Okay, sorry.
But yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah. It's all of our loyal listeners.
Well, welcome back to Round Robin Radio. This is UNT Dallas coming back in. This is a advanced radio production class. My name is Lisbeth.
I'm Jessica.
I'm Matt.
I'm Ryder.
And I guess we're going to be talking about a little bit of whatever we didn't get to speak on Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday.
Anyone got anything? Because I, for one, do not.
Are y'all graduating this semester? Or y'all?
Yes.
You are?
Yeah.
When are y'all graduating? Do y'all know?
We still got another year.
I graduate in 2025, May of 25.
Me too. So you're graduating after this semester?
Yes. It's a little confusing because I still need to take 2 more classes in the summer. But what's the word? I was able to apply. So basically I'm just participating in commencement. And then I'm getting like my actual certificate, I think by August. I don't know. Maybe a little bit later because my cousin, she graduated in the fall and she still hasn't received her certification.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah, my friend hasn't received hers either. She just graduated in the fall too.
I don't know if it's just like the system that's a little slow.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I thought that they would have like their certificates with them when they would walk the stage, I guess.
Yeah, it does take a while because when I graduated community college and I got my associates, excuse me, I graduated in 2020. So obviously COVID was a thing, so we didn't get to walk. But either way, they're going to send the certificates out anyways. And it did take a little while to get it. So that could be it too.
True.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't remember how long it took.
Me too, because I graduated as well in 2020, high school and community college, and my my certificate got there like a month later. I guess. Well, I thought it was because of like the whole COVID situation and stuff like that, and then I also got like my certificates like later on that I completely forgot about them, honestly. Yeah. So yeah, I guess it's like every school is different, or it's just the same thing, or maybe just like a lot of students, honestly.
Maybe. I mean, at least now we know though, like that when we're graduating, like not to panic, like why isn't it here? What's taking it so long?
True.
So just, I guess it's coming eventually.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Are y'all excited?
I am.
For graduating?
I want to find a job. This has been my life for a couple of years, and it's kind of like you think about like going to elementary, middle, and then high school. You have a routine every day. You get like a couple of months off, but like for the most part, you have a routine to structure your life, even if you're on break. And it's kind of like, whoa, like, you know, you got to find a job. You got to find a job that pays well. And it's like, I'm just always cognizant of like that mental change that I'm going to have to make, because instead of like coming to school every day or like doing an internship or doing something over the summer, it's going to be like, oh, this is just the thing I do for not for the rest of my life, but like for the time being. Like my life is going to be my job in a way. So I'm, you know, hopefully I get a job that's not like, you know, making me want to do things negatively. You know what I mean? Like I want a good job. Like one that I can look forward to.
What do you want to do after you graduate?
I don't know. I want to like put the skills that we learn to use, like radio and television is cool and stuff. But
Mhm.
if I can find like, honestly, it kind of goes against like what I just said like 2 seconds ago. But even if I could find a job like doing something that contributes to my community, I'd be fine. Like some people are like, oh, this degree like makes it easier to get the job that you want to, so you can get more money and stuff. But like that's cool, it's great. But if I got a job being like a social media manager for like a homeless shelter or something, I don't know, like or working at a homeless shelter or like
Mhm.
at a soup kitchen or I'd be fine. Like if like I don't want to be working at 7-Eleven. I'll be honest. I don't want to be flipping burgers at McDonald's. But I wouldn't be, I would not be like against doing something for the community for like a decent wage. It doesn't even have to be that much money. I'll be honest.
Yeah, that's fun. Ryder,
Yeah.
what do you want to do?
Oh man, something you wouldn't ask. I have no idea, man. I have no idea.
Well, what are your interests? Like, what do you? Or you're in digital production, right? Is that your concentration? Like, what are you interested in? The classes that you've taken so far.
I mean, I've kind of, I don't know, like
You like the studio stuff, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I guess I'm mildly considering like radio, I guess, because I've enjoyed this class. It's
Mhm.
been kind of fun. So I don't know. I'm kind of like, if I'm getting paid, I don't really care. If I have a stable job, that's good enough for me, man. I don't care what it is.
Hypothetical, $30 an hour, but you work at the 7-Eleven and like on on Camp Wisdom.
What about you, Jessica?
$30 an hour?
Yeah, that's not bad. Me, like Ryder said, when the first time we walked into the studio, I was like, this is really cool. And then I had always liked radio. I had always liked even like watching like radio when they like post on YouTube, like the actual video footage. And I used to think, oh, that's so cool. And I'm like, I could probably do that because I'd prefer to be like talking without being seen rather than being in front of a camera, just because I feel awkward talking in front of a camera. I could never be a YouTuber or anything like that. So I was like, that's something I could probably do. And like also get out of my comfort zone, like get better with communication.
Yeah.
But I do like writing, and I take an interest in journalism and social media, and so I'd possibly want to go into that. So like I like to like write blogs. I haven't done it in a while, but I like to do that, and I like to write handwritten type of writing, and I also like to type clearly. So like basically I guess like I'd be okay with like print or because of the capstone project that we have to do, I've been looking into it, and I'm like, freelance writing actually sounds pretty cool because you're self-employed. So I was like, that's pretty cool too. And then copywriting, because copywriters kind of had like the freedom to like pick who they want to write for and stuff. So either radio or writing, journalism, I guess. So
That's really interesting, actually.
What about you?
I'm like writer. I don't know. The thing is that because coming into this degree, when I came to UNT Dallas, I was actually doing criminal justice.
Yeah.
And I changed my degree to communication. And first, I was really interested into graphic design, and later on, when I applied for studio production class and stuff like that, and I went inside of the studio basement, which was my first time. I think it was last year. We had him for studio production. I was amazed. I was like, this is really cool. Like, this is what I want to do. And also, it's like very like my dream like job would be like a director or a film producer. But with the capstone. With the capstone project, like it really made me think, because like it's a lot, like when the career services when we had it for previous class, it was just like I was like, wow, like I really, really like have to start now
Mhm.
and looking more into that.
Mhm.
And I haven't yet. I will get to that, but I don't know what I would want to do around it because I would like to work with cameras and behind the scenes for sure. But I also wouldn't mind like in camera.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I know some interviewing or something like that,
Mhm.
but I'm not too sure yet. But I just know that it's like definitely
Mhm.
like in the film production
Yeah.
world.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
So all
There's-
three of y'all might be like famous like
Hopefully.
directors or social media managers
Yeah,
or
I've always liked doing like I guess like filmmaking stuff. 'Cause I did that in high school.
Yeah.
I was in a media program and we did a lot of like video projects. We did the movie that we talked about a lot.
Mhm.
And yeah, but I just don't know like how you make a career out of that.
You can be an actor again.
Yes.
Well, like actually getting paid to be an actor now.
Yeah, I don't know because that movie is on like Amazon and stuff. I don't know where that money goes. If someone
Jeff
buys it.
Bezos.
I guess the distributor. I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool though. I think like I was in theater in high school as a class, but like they would really like push us towards like theater as a craft. Like, oh, like it's more than just like memorizing lines and like rehearsing and then putting on silly costumes. It's like people are employed for like all of that stuff, like lighting,
Yeah.
like rigging. Like there's math that goes into like how heavy an object you can put on like the metal braided cords that like come up and down during a theater show, and that's cool. I wouldn't mind doing stuff like that, like behind the scenes stuff, or even when we were like doing like UIL like stuff, competitions. It was really cool, like rehearsing, and then our teacher would be like, "We're gonna go and see this play, and we're gonna stay behind the scenes, and we're gonna go and we're gonna sit in on one of their rehearsals." And it was really cool because they were like it seemed like like everyone has like a 9 to 5, like generally, like their 9 to 5 is like getting to like rehearsal, pulling out the script and just like going through you know maybe like 3 scenes a day for like 8 hours, which some people might like say, oh, whoa, I don't want to do that, like, oh, it's boring. But I think it's the opposite. I think it's like really cool because that's like everything is like relative. Like if you had a job doing like movies, you'd probably complain about like something, but like from the outside looking in, I'd like to be able to complain about like my costume not fitting directly the way I wanted it to, instead of something I don't know. I'd rather have like the little complaints as a theater, like an actor or a writer, than I guess, no offense to all the people who do it, but like plumbing and being a garbage man. Nothing wrong with being a garbage man, but
Yeah.
you get a little stinky. I think so.
To all the people that do it though, like all the power to you, because
They're very nice.
That's-
Most of the time, they're
yeah.
really nice. So
that's a job that's like, wow. Like I couldn't either, just because I just don't have the stomach for that or anything. Like I don't have the mental capacity for that. Yes.
What do y'all's parents think about y'all's degree? Like, are they familiar with it? Do they like support it or like whatever? They don't know what you're doing. Like, what is it?
Well,
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first because it's kind of like it's more casual. My dad he's come to actually just kind of let me figure this stuff out on my own. Like he hasn't really pushed me on like asking, oh, so what is this class for? Like, what does this do? He just asked me how like my day is, and I've just explained to him, oh, we're like in the studio, and he finds it cool. Like obviously, like as a parent you should be a little concerned about like, oh, this is all cool and all, but when you getting a job? Like he asks me those questions in a way that's like really, really like nice and refreshing. Like, oh, that's really cool. Like, I mean, because he watches stuff like, I guess the most relatable thing he can relate it to is the sports shows that have like people like Stephen A. and I think it's Mad Dog and whoever they are, like Skip, Skip and Shannon. Those like productions and shows are not too different from what we are learning how to do. Honestly, I would be like really down to actually be a part of a production like that. But it seems like the students are few and far between. But my he's pretty cool about it. He's nice. He's like, oh, that's cool, son. You got to learn how to use a tripod and connect a microphone today. It's really, really awesome.
So it would be really fun to work like behind the camera on one of those sports shows.
Because they're really funny
Get
sometimes
to
too.
witness Stephen A. go on a psychotic rant about Dak Prescott.
You're generally not allowed to laugh or emote too hard to distract the talent, but with the NBA, they've kind of built it into their program to be like if Shaq says something funny or or Charles Barkley makes fun of Shaq calling him Shrek, you can laugh. That's kind of funny. I like that. But yeah, anyone else?
Yeah, I live with my grandparents. They're pretty supportive. Like almost to a fault, I would feel like they're I feel like they are almost not concerned enough about what I'm gonna do after. But yeah, they're supportive. Anytime I make like a video project, I always want to watch it and stuff.
Nice.
That's very cool.
I can't relate. No, not that my parents aren't supportive. It's just that they're like, okay, what are you gonna do with that? And you know how dads are sometimes. They're just very forgetful. So my dad's like, what are you in school for again? Mm-hmm. And he's like, my dad's self-employed. He has his own business. And so he's like, one of my customers asked, what's your daughter in college for? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay. And so I tell him, he's like, okay, what are you doing with that? What can you do with that? And I'm like, I'm going to tell you what Professor Holmes has told me, literally anything I want to do. And he's like, okay, but what does that mean? And so I'm like, well, I'd want to pursue journalism and maybe radio. And he's like, okay. And then he's like, just make sure that you're doing what you need to do to get a job, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. And so I get that, but sometimes I guess just because my parents are very I guess logical rather than based on dreams, following dreams. Mm-hmm. They kind of see it as oh, you need to think logically and have a plan B and have a plan C and so on. So it's kind of hard with that, having parents with that mindset. But at the end of the day, I understand. I get what they mean. But I mean, I wouldn't say that they're not supportive. They just want to know that I'm going to go somewhere after college and I'm going to find a job and be stable, I guess. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm working towards and wanting to make them proud. So yeah, at the end of the day, they just don't understand as much. But hopefully I can prove to them that, hey, I did something and I'm happy. And yeah, I got dark. Let's be light and happy now.
I think it's relatable. I want to be able to show off something that I make here at school to my dad. I'll be honest. Some of the things that we made, our film and digital production is probably not something I'm going to be super excited to show my family.
I've heard very good things about it.
You have?
Yes, Professor Holmes.
Really? Ours?
Is this the one with Michael?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Professor Holmes and Professor San Miguel have said, oh my gosh, that one was so funny. And then I'm like, whose? And they're like, the one with Ryder and Matthew and Michael. And I'm like, I have yet to see it. Michael hasn't sent me the link.
I think the thing is that with that one, I don't know, that the whole process for it was really, it wasn't last minute, but we were, I wouldn't say we were rushing because we had all the film and you organized all the audio and the clips and stuff, and it worked out really well. But it kind of felt like as we were watching, the other ones were oh no, ours is kind of a more jokey and more lighthearted and funny and stuff.
I can like that.
Yeah, I mean, look at Adam Sandler. That's
mine was like that in high school too. Everyone in my high school classes, everyone did horror stuff. Really? And so by the time my group went up and we did some stupid shit similar to what we did, it was a change of pace.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I forgot what I was gonna say about it. Oh yeah, Mr. O. Oh,
Oh yeah,
Mr.
he was in y'all's film, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
he likes bullying us though. That's
does.
crazy. We,
He picks
he was
on us.
explaining the thing earlier today in class, and he's I'm gonna stand over here and like say like because apparently our one of our things was too vague in our YouTube channel proposal, but I think one of you guys said that he's doing that because he likes us.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, he's hurting my feelings. He's like, you guys aren't specific enough, and I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. I'm glad that he was in our film though. He was really fun to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not evil or anything.
Mhm.
So yeah, he's a cool professor. I didn't know they liked our film. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yours is pretty funny.
Thank you.
they've
Wow.
said good things about it. I want to be able to say good things. So get on Michael and tell him to send it to me, or what have you send it to me? Okay, yeah, send it to me because yeah, he's slacking.
I think it was pretty funny.
I thought it was.
There was one that you made with Michael with the car.
Yeah.
That one was really, really
That was like the
funny.
only good part of that project.
That
'Cause
was
we didn't
really
try
funny.
very hard on that one, to be honest. Because when he switched the project on us, like I
Oh yeah.
I was really excited to do the one that I wrote, and then he switched it, and I was like, well, I don't care about this one that I have to do now.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'll be
I feel
honest.
like a lot of us were pretty upset that they got switched because we were
Not me.
my group. Wait, did we get your film?
Was it the one about like
The
the
Halloween party?
yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, that was.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, because we were really excited to do ours, and then we got switched, and we ended up doing Matthew's group's film.
Yeah,
I don't know. Was it like what you were expecting?
it was like an amalgamation of like a couple of ideas. Oh, you mean like the final product?
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I wasn't in the room. I was not in the room. I left to go like help somebody. Like,
Yeah, I remember you walking out when we were watching.
I was like,
oh, okay.
I think you
Yeah.
watched ours.
no disrespect, but I was kind of like, I get really nervous. Like I get really like anxious and nervous when that kind of stuff like comes up because it's like, damn, like this is our creation that we made. It wasn't finished, obviously, and like I feel like I'll be like the worst critic of my own work, especially if I'm like writing, most of it. Like I'll be like, damn, man, I'm I said I'm sorry earlier because it's like the first scene was or the scene that I wrote or whatever I put on that paper, it was kind of like, man, I hope this like plays out. Like the way I'm writing it, like I try to be as loose as possible when like writing directions and stuff for a scene, but like it's better to be more specific to give directions and a solid like through line. So when you're filming, you don't know, like you don't get confused and you don't know or you like what you're actually supposed to film. Like I feel like that's what a lot of good screenplays do. And when we were filming ours, like we were like, oh, we're gonna film the scene, and then I would look at the scene and I'd be like, hey, do you guys have a pen? And we would just keep like writing like notes and stuff,
Yeah.
especially like to help the talent like just know like, oh, here's your cue for this, here's your cue for that. And I guess that's like the mentality I'm bringing to the next one. It's kind of like be a little bit tedious and annoying with the way that I write stuff, but yeah, I'm sorry. You can send me a link to it. I will see it.
It's okay. Yeah, I remember. What I remember was that it wasn't finished. I don't think the script was finished.
No.
So I remember that I think in our group, one of our group members finished it, and we changed a few things. I think what I remember, we did change a few things, and we also printed like scripts to everyone, even though like only like a handful were like in like being filmed
On screen.
Yeah, on
That's
screen.
good though.
Yeah, I think it's best because we all did different notes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we changed a lot of things, and then also like at the end when we turned in like the script and everything, we had to like rewrite it because sometimes me personally, I was having a hard time remembering my line because it was like it was like 3 sentences, and it was like a lot, I guess, for me, and I changed it to make it short, or like for it to fit more naturally to how I was speaking. So it's
I think
lot.
That would be like a cool. I might like talk to Mr. Otis or Professor Otteson about it because it's like that's just how like filming goes. I feel like just in general, like you have people writing on their scripts, even in like the biggest productions, and I think it would be cool to be like, oh, turn in your final scripts like make a scan of your physical script that you like what you actually used on set,
Mhm.
because there's a lot of like little notes and things that I feel like even showing to other classes would be cool. Because I write a lot of stuff on my scripts,
Mhm.
even if I like I write it and I know everything that I wrote is on there and I know what it means. Like I'm still writing when we're filming just to be like, oh, this is when I turn the camera, or like, you know, even the less appropriate stuff that I write on there to help me like figure out like what I'm
Yeah.
supposed to do. It's like shorthand and it helps me like think through it a lot better.
Yeah.
That'd be cool to be like, oh, you know, if like next year's class saw our scripts, it'd be a lot more or less stressful for them, I feel like. Because it'd be like, oh, there's like room to make mistakes when, you know, there's room to make mistakes and changes and little tweaks and like add your own personality to the stuff that you're filming and acting out. So I think that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I also wanted to point out that I now understand why, like the actors and the directors, like they said, like, and like like a long table and go over the script
Yeah.
because like so you can like understand the tone and everything. And in the previous group, we didn't do that, and it was like a mess. Honestly, personally, I thought it was a mess. So definitely do that if you guys like are in the digital production concentration and are filming and stuff. I feel like that's really, really helpful.
Yeah.
And it will make filming a lot smoother because now you know, like now you know what you're gonna expect instead of just doing it like.
Yeah.
All this stuff.
Our first video project, that one where we got switched on us. Like I said, like I was really excited to do the one that I had wrote. So when we got that second one, I just did not like care.
You didn't care as much,
I
yeah.
didn't care at all. So it was my job because it was literally just me and Michael, because I was doing the group run that we were going to do, the one that I wrote. So I would be fine with just 2 people. And then we got the new one, and I was like, well, shit. Now we have this new thing we have to do, and I have to write a script for it because obviously we didn't get a completed script. We got like that first scene or whatever scene they decided to write, and I didn't. I had to write the script, and I did not. I kept sitting down to write it, and I was like, I have no motivation to write this at all. So I didn't write a script, and then we started filming without a script, and we just made everything up on the spot.
Was that the one that Esmeralda was in?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw that one. It was actually really funny.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was really funny. It was like an awkward kind of funny. It kind of gave me like Adam Sandler movie vibes. So that's a good thing.
Maybe you'll be the next.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
put that evil on me.
He's employed,
I'm like
man.
Nathan Fielder.
He's consistently employed and people love him.
Mhm.
He's in Uncut Gems. So good.
Yes. Very nice stuff.
Yeah, that first project was just kind of funny because
Yeah.
I put in 0% effort.
I noticed that last semester in DP1, a lot of our class did heist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I
was
heard about
cool.
that.
I think my group was the only one that did a mockumentary.
Yeah, and I thought yours was really good. I liked yours a
I
lot.
liked it.
Thank you. But yeah, it was pretty interesting, like how everyone
There
did
were
a
a lot of
heist.
heights.
Yeah.
We were sitting down to write the new one, and I was like,
you
they kept
were
saying,
like-
so like a heist. I'm like, I don't ever want to hear the word heist.
Yeah, we like changed the idea to make it not a heist this time.
It's like, yeah, I'm pretty, I'm heisted
burnt
out.
out
I'm
on
sick of it.
heists.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of heists.
The heists
Yeah.
were heisting, I guess.
Yeah.
Somehow everyone collectively had that idea.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. What else do you got going on? I mean, I know me and Ryder have something that we're gonna.
Oh yeah.
I actually, because of the way that we're doing stuff in DP2, there's the assignment where like the YouTube channel, the details about it, it's like, oh, what's your content, calendar.
Mhm.
I think we're actually gonna like try and make the channel pretty engaging.
Mhm.
I didn't talk to you about it until now. I guess I wanted to try and see if
Okay.
we could at least on my end, because we both bought a very terrible game in the past couple of days.
Yeah.
And we're waiting for it to unlock so we can play it together and co-op. So I wanted to get that commentary, at least part of it,
Oh,
for
yeah.
like a review or like a let's play series where we just like
That'd be
talk
fun,
about like
yeah.
They'll
how
have a YouTube
bad the
channel?
game is.
I mean, we're
Oh,
apparently
no,
making one for this.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for DP2, we have to create a YouTube channel. to
Really?
post our video.
We should
Yeah.
just put that on our personal stuff. We shouldn't put that on the
Oh.
project channel, but we should do it.
I can,
It's like more detailed now compared to DP1. Because
Yeah.
now we did like a YouTube proposal, and now we're doing the pre-production research, which I think is the same thing as the proposal, but
That's
more
exactly what I
detailed.
said.
That's what Matthew was saying.
More,
It's very
definitely
similar.
more detailed. Yeah.
It was very
So-
confusing the first one.
And then there's some
That's
stuff
fun.
that like the target audience stuff. I just don't like.
We have the mentality of like when you're
Yeah.
writing a story. I kicked the desk. When you're writing the story, like it should be like that's not something you have in mind.
Yeah,
like if you're writing a
maybe it's, like-
story,
maybe it's idealistic of me, but like, because I guess if you're wanting to make a career out of writing a script, you would pitch it to someone, and be like, oh, this is for this. But like, I don't know. For me, when I make, maybe this is, art. When I make art,
you're not making it for anyone in mind. You're
I'm
making
not-
it for yourself,
I'm
most
making
likely.
it because I think it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I don't really care who it's for. It's for me. It's for me
Yeah.
because I think it's going to be good.
Yeah.
So I like when we were doing the target audience stuff, we were kind of
He tore us up, bro.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, he not like viciously, but he's like when I talked about like the genre, I was like too vague, and like he highlighted the comment, and he was like, so like every other genre, like what does this mean? Like I was like, oh, that sucked.
Do y'all still do peer reviews?
Not
I don't
yet.
think so. I mean, at least not. We might.
I'm
He
pretty
hasn't-
sure he might like.
He hasn't told us yet, but we might do that.
He likes to keep it a surprise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it's
wonder what
mysterious
surprise
like
is
that.
gonna come up this class. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's always up to something.
He's always-
honestly.
Yeah.
It would really suck if we just switched scripts again. I would
don't think we would do it
actually.
again. I don't think we would do
Yeah,
that.
I would
be
protest.
really
I
upset.
would protest. I would,
Yes.
I would
That'd
sit
be
out.
terrible.
That would be
Yes,
bad.
Because I'm actually really excited for our film because we're doing something a little bit more serious,
Hmm.
more. I think I mentioned it before.
Mhm.
That we're doing, like, what was I forgot the it's like horror fantasy, but something fiction. So we're basically like messing around with like lucid dreaming and like drug abuse.
Mm.
So it's pretty interesting. It's more serious for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited because usually our group we've done like something more like comedy based films, like mockumentaries, or we usually go towards that. So we kind of wanted to challenge ourselves and do something like that. And also we really want to work with like After Effects or like some really cool transitions as well. So I'm really excited for how it's gonna turn out.
Yeah, that's fun. I asked that just because I know like in his like beginning classes when I like had to take his classes, there was peer reviews and classmates were not so graceful.
Yeah.
That's why when Ryder was saying like he writes like because that's like what he likes and it's like for himself. I guess like when I was writing like my little commercial scripts, like I was writing because I like this. I think this is cool. I think this is nice. And then like I imagine it in my head and then people read through it and they're like, I didn't like that you did this. This doesn't meet the time limit. This is this and I'm like God, and that was my favorite one. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So that's why I'm like,
but don't feel discouraged because I feel like not everyone is gonna like.
Yeah.
Things. There's always gonna be
no, I still like it.
Yeah.
I actually wanted it to become a commercial. Like I had it all in my head and everything. So I still really like it.
When we wrote the commercials and people reviewed them and stuff. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was fun.
Everyone liked yours though.
Yeah, that's
so
what I'm saying. I wrote a really good one. And I remember when I was writing and I was like, this is good. And then when we actually got to make it, it turned out.
yeah, we got to make it.
I forgot what I did. Honestly, I don't like for storytelling and visual communication. I don't remember anything anymore.
Mhm. Yeah.
Honestly.
And when I was writing that script, the gif of the guy and he's writing like the papers on fire.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when I was writing that commercial script.
Yeah. It was fun though.
There's actually a camera. Like the camera is actually live streaming too. It just has the cover over it.
Oh, really?
I was thinking of like
really?
opening it and just having it like have a record people walking by randomly. I don't know.
I didn't realize I counted it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's on. I don't know what to do with it. You were talking about like, you like talking with no camera on you. It's technically a camera right here.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah, it's just not.
No, I think it's just like if it was like live, like me staring into the camera, I cannot do. That's why I'm like YouTubers that are just staring into the camera. I go blank because I'm like I'm staring at a camera. I'm not looking at someone talking. So that's why I'm like for instance, like acting and stuff. I think that would be fine for me though. I just can't stare directly in a camera and talk to it because then I forget what I say.
Like the news, I don't think I'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
I know that I will mess up, and I do not want to get fired because I messed up. So it's gonna be really traumatic.
And then you become a meme.
Literally, the guy.
There's a guy that I watch like on YouTube. He does exactly what you said you don't like. He sits in front of a camera. He has the lowest production quality I've ever seen. Like he doesn't really care. Like his camera is like the light balance is really like messed up. His face is like super bright, but he's just chatting with his chat the whole time, like making fun of people and covering like the sport of MMA. And it's a really silly experience. But he's I guess he's getting success because of that. Because like some people just don't want to watch Stephen A. talk about like corporate approved sports. And this guy's he's something else. Because I went to sleep last night and he was talking. I was like, he'll probably end the stream. I wake up this morning, I get to school, I sit down, and I'm like, why is he still alive?
my friend goes to sleep to Low Tier God streams and compilations. It's really funny. I don't know how he sleeps to that.
I'm gonna stick my covenant on you.
Four
Guys, Black Cloaks.
I do watch sports.
I do. Yeah. It's mostly like mixed martial arts, but I like to watch like basketball and football when the playoffs come around.
Mm-hmm. Are you gonna watch the football game?
Yes.
Super Bowl? Yeah.
I am, because they drop a lot of trailers and cool commercials and stuff. And I hate, but I don't like both of the teams.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that people are saying, I saw TikTok video someone saying that like they should just not win.
I wanted the Ravens to go.
Yeah, I wanted it to be Ravens Lions.
Yeah, same.
That'd be cool.
Same.
Because those are like two. I like Lamar Jackson. He's cool. I like the Lions. They've been bad since before I've been born. So.
The memes are funny of saying along the lines of like what Professor B was talking about, that Taylor Swift fans, their favorite team is going to the Super Bowl, and I've been waiting like 20 plus years for mine to go, and I'm like, honestly, yeah, that hurts. Like that sucks, but I really did think it was going to be the Ravens because I have nothing against the Ravens. Like, I'm cool with them. But have any of you seen like where people are saying that it's rigged, like because of the colors of like each each Super Bowl logo? Yes. So they were predicting that it was going to be Ravens versus the 49ers. And because Ravens got so close, I was like, oh, I think it might actually be. And then the 49ers, I was like, oh, I think it actually might be. And then the Ravens got out and I was like, maybe it'll be blue and red then. And so it wasn't. Now it's just red and red. And I'm like, I'm just looking forward to the halftime show.
Like being a sports fan and like waiting for, your team to be good. Like, my cousin, that side of the family lives in Houston and they really like baseball. So the Astros are like really good, and they won like several championships since he's been alive. And every time I see him, I'm like, dude, you're so lucky that your sports team is like dominated basically your entire life.
Dude, New Jersey fans in the mud.
Yeah, it's like
the Jets are never.
It's like I'm a Mavs fan, and like basically I started watching in like 2014, which is they were good for like those first 2 years, and they were kind of stinky for a while.
Yeah,
and then they drafted Luka, which has been frustrating because he's like the best player on the planet and the supporting cast is not very good.
I mean, we have the Rangers though, at least.
I was glad that I started watching the Rangers like the beginning of last season, so I could say I was there for the ride.
Yeah, same. Same. And then I started buying all the championship stuff. I got a beanie, I got the championship t-shirt before they went into the actual World Series, and they won it, and I was like, right after they won it, I started looking online. I was like, I'm not about to wait in no lines, and I'm just gonna order it online, and it came like like 2 days later, maybe. And I was like, see, and I didn't wait in a line for hours and hours.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm glad it wasn't the Cowboys. Hopefully by the next time, if the
Nah.
Cowboys ever win another Super Bowl, I'm like gone. I'm like away from.
I want them to go to the Super Bowl and lose.
Oh, that'd be
I
so
love
funny. That'd be
seeing the
so
fans.
funny.
They're so funny. They're like the fan bases are like. I like watching the fan bases more than like the teams themselves when it comes to like traditionally popular sports like basketball and football because they're so weird and wacky.
Yeah.
I think when the Eagles came to town and they beat the Eagles, they had a sign of the coach and it said "Cry Eagles, cry." It's him crying, which is funny because they stunk up their playoff game too.
Yeah.
So
It was really funny. Cowboys fans being like, "Oh, or like they lost their playoff game or whatever." It's like, dude, you did too. Like y'all.
This is their Super Bowl.
Listen, Ryder, we're still
Eagles.
hurting about it, okay?
Cowboys fans are so funny.
Most are, but there's still those good-hearted ones out there.
There are some normal Cowboys fans somewhere. We haven't found them yet. But.
I saw a video.
Hello.
She's right here.
I'm right here.
I think my favorite video of this year is I think the Cowboys were losing and I think someone took a video of some fan that started throwing up.
Oh my gosh.
So
not because of the game. I'm sure that contributed, but I don't know who they were playing. Who did they play and lose to in the playoffs? Somebody.
The Packers.
The Packers. Yes,
Yeah,
there was a Packers fan
grittying
in a circle around this fan on their knees.
That doesn't look real. You have a guy on his knees throwing up, and then a guy in a Packers jersey.
He's just grittying.
I did not see that.
It was.
Wow.
That's crazy.
It was the highlight of the game. It was so cool.
It's so funny. But there's the guy.
Such terrible people.
Yes,
I love them.
I think it was at the Patriots Stadium earlier this year. They killed a guy.
It's not funny.
It's not funny, but it's
so comical.
Slightly funny.
It's like, yo, this Patriots game is gonna be your last.
I don't think they killed him, but there
dude.
was a Dolphins fan who died at the stadium.
Yeah.
And the Patriots fans probably had something to do with it.
Yeah, they probably tripped him or something. I don't know. I would hate to wake up and have the knowledge of my fate being like, you're gonna die.
You wake up in heaven, you're like, what?
Did they win? No. Yeah.
Fan bases are crazy and scary.
Yes, I agree. Dude, I'm on Twitter a lot. NBA Twitter, they don't play, dude. You say something about Steph Curry, a bunch of 15-year-olds who started watching basketball in 2015. I guess
they're gonna go to your profile. They're gonna look at your relatives, see if any of them are alive.
If you have a dead relative,
it's over. Yeah.
Fan bases, in general, are scary.
Yeah.
Swifties are scary.
I don't want to get involved.
Beyonce fans are scary. I know that when Harry Styles had won album of the year for the Grammys, all of Beyonce fans were just randomly attacking Harry Styles fans on Twitter, and I was like, God, I was like, this is crazy. I was like, let me log off, and I'm like, but then again, let me see the drama.
You gotta be ready to die for your fandom on Twitter.
I like the guy that does the black or Chinese not deep fake, but AI generated.
That's when he got dogs.
He got dogs, and then he said, "This is what I would look like, black or Chinese." And when he did it to Taylor Swift, they're like, "No, don't do it. This is not a fight you want to pick." And he did it anyway.
This is totally random, but I love watching those videos where people scam the scammers and
Same.
on live. And I saw one where a guy just freaked out, man, why did he redeem the code?
Wait, do not redeem.
Yeah, why? And the whole man is just him screaming, why? And asking him why, but doesn't even let him talk. And it's just so funny. I found this video so hilarious.
Yeah.
Even the texting ones are funny. Give me your social security, and then they give a random, no, stop, give me your social security in all caps. It's freaking hilarious. I think some are made up at this point, just for views.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
For the most part, it's funny.
Yeah,
fake or not, it's funny.
I'd be 2 hours just watching that. So
yeah.
funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's probably a terrible thing. I probably shouldn't say this, but the same dude, MMA guy, like his name is MMA Guru. Really, I guess, pretentious name, but he like does live watches of like the events as they go on, and they can last for like 6 hours. I think the first Indian fighter was fighting like some guy, and his chat is a bunch of like unfiltered weirdos. So they kept asking him to do impressions, and so they're like doing impression of his name is Anshul Jabli, and he kept doing the do not redeem, and then he got knocked out. So he's like doing impressions of this fighter, the first Indian fighter in the UFC, who getting knocked out by some guy barking at him in the cage. It was really funny. Like it's more entertaining than like listening to the regular commentary because it's so unhinged.
Yeah,
and
most of the
stupid.
time because I have like NBA League Pass where you can like watch all the games.
Yeah.
I watch them on mute. And I've discovered that the Mavs really do have one of the better like commentary crews.
Mhm.
Like the Warriors specifically, their commentary crew is dog ass, dude. They're so bad. So anytime I watch a game that's not the Mavs, I'll just put it on mute and put like a podcast on or something.
Yeah.
Do y'all listen to podcasts? Talking about
I do.
A little bit, not as much as I used to.
Only one. Like their podcasts, there are only so many that are actually good. And then there's the ones that have the reputations, of course, which yeah. What kind of podcasts do y'all listen to? I think the biggest one is true crime. I don't listen to them, but
I don't really listen to true crime. I really like Singing Heath Unfiltered. I just like because it's them two, and then
Zane and Heath.
Yeah, I love their dynamic. They're just like for me they're hilarious.
They
They're
are
really,
funny.
really funny, but it's just like it feels like I'm there talking to them. You know, I like those type of podcasts where like you're there in the room, like them talking to you. So I usually like watch those, and they always have like some random story that happens to them. I love to hear like their trip stories because there's always something happening to them. There's always like something random and crazy happening. So I really like their podcast. I mostly listen to them, honestly.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely can get behind those. Like it's just 2, maybe even 3 people, and it does feel like you're in the room with them. I think that reminds me of, I do not listen to podcasts right now super actively. I've been getting back into them, but there's this one called Chuckle Sandwich, and it's just 2 guys and they talk about whatever. I imagine it's a bit more out there than the one you mentioned. Like they'll be there making like tier lists for like cereal boxes, or they'll be sitting there talking about like there was this Florida guy who jumped into like a Bass Pro Shop, like like the fish tank, right? And they'll just make the entire episode about that, and it feels like you're slowly like losing your mind the further in you get. So yeah.
Yeah, Schlatt has another podcast called Sleep Deprived.
Yes,
that one is even more like unhinged.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I like. There's one podcast I really like. I think it started as this, and they moved away from it a little bit. They watch the MCU movies in order and just like tear into them because they're all dog shit. So yeah,
What's the name of it?
It's called Marvelous or the Death of Cinema. I bet you would probably like.
Is it those? Who are the hosts? Because I may have seen it.
It's the guy on Twitter, Netscape. I bet you would like him if you.
I think so. Maybe I do watch a show that I guess shows loosely like they stream every Saturday, and they just talk about like writing and film and games and just like pop culture stuff. I think the last time they did something, it was called it was a stream about what Asmongold said about like AI. And like they go from that to talking about like Lord of the Rings to talking about like Wings versus Boogie, like and the name of the show, because they started like looking at videos and I guess like just tearing apart their arguments or just seeing what people say about like movies and stuff. and they call it every frame a pause, and the the acronym for it is EFAP. So it it turns away a reasonable amount of people for a good reason, because it's a silly name. But I like the conversations that they have, and they bring on like a bunch of like internet personalities, like whether it be from like commentary or I guess just like film content creation, or I think recently they were doing a pair of people who talked about it's a not Halo, but some video game. I think Halo. But yeah, in which like the climax of the podcast was like, oh, this guy made a 3-hour hit piece about some like one of the guests, and they were going through his video, and at the end he's like, oh, here's what you said about me on a live stream, and he's like, he just called him a cuck. So like the whole 6-hour podcast was just them like leading up to that through the video, and it was interesting to me. So
this is the Mahler podcast. I looked it up.
Yeah.
Oh man, you listen to that garbage?
Nah, he's a good. He makes sense. I think.
Okay.
I like his podcast.
I just know the famous
Oh, yeah.
one where it's like why I didn't like Joker. It's like a 30-minute video, and then their podcast is like 10 hours.
Every 3 or so months they say like, oh, aren't you the guy that made the. But I saw because I just put it on while I'm like washing dishes or like going for a jog. They're just fucking around for like 5 or so hours and talking about the video for like 2 or 3, and it's like, oh yeah. It's like, it's an interesting like video because I feel like it's kind of a litmus test for people who have attention spans.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you can sit and listen to like a couple of people talk about it for like a couple of hours, then you can probably say like, oh, this is good or bad. But most people just go, oh, whoa, more than 30 minutes. Whoa, woman. Whoa. Yeah. So
I don't know why I can't get into podcasts. Like, back when the Dolan twins were a thing, I used to be like obsessed, and I tried listening to their podcast when they had a podcast, and I just could not get into it. I'm a YouTube video type of person. I like visuals, which is funny because I just said I don't personally like to like really be on camera, and I would rather like have like do audio myself, but I like watching videos. So I guess it's kind of a trade-off thing. I just can't get into it. I think I need a good podcast or something.
Have you tried visual podcasts? Because
Yes,
I agree with you.
I have.
I don't like just sitting there with nothing.
Yeah.
Because I'm the same person who will sit there, play a game, listen to music, and watch
Yeah.
TV. Yeah.
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 I've watched like visual podcasts like when they have them on Spotify. I can't think of what podcast it was, but I only watched it just because I wanted to hear the drama and the tea. This girl with the podcast, I don't remember what her podcast is called, but she had Justin Bieber's wife, Hailey Bieber, on, and she was apparently going to be talking about like her relationship with Justin and Selena Gomez also.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I want to hear the drama and the tea and whatever happened there. So that's why I listened to it. Well, watched it, and I didn't get as much as I wanted out of it. But yeah, that's like I would say probably the last one that I have listened to.
Same.
Technically, yeah.
I watch podcasts. I can't just like listen to them.
Yeah.
I have to watch it because I like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a visual person too. So
Yeah.
That's. I typically like I don't go on Spotify and like listen for podcasts. I try to do that. I didn't really get into it. I like to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just something about it, just watching it, because like I like to see their expressions and how they're telling it and everything. So
yeah,
that's how. Because I mostly do watch YouTube, but also I do watch like other like streaming platforms. I don't watch TV anymore, honestly.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
But yeah, same as you. Is it Bobby? Is that her name? No,
I don't know.
Is she like petite?
I think she has blonde hair.
Oh,
She also had Zayn from One Direction on.
Isn't she?
I didn't watch that one though.
Did she have Drake in it? Is that her?
Uh,
I don't know if we're talking about the same one. That she like interviews famous
The
people.
bland, like
The
dry
knockoff Nathan
humor.
Fielder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think. I think it's the Call Her Daddy podcast.
Oh.
I don't know.
I think that's her. Hold on, let me type in.
Let's see.
Let me type in Hailey Bieber and see if it's.
I'm pretty sure I've seen this person. I just don't know who it is.
I do know who you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call Her Daddy. That's
My attention
that was
span
the name.
is so fried. Because like a couple weeks ago, I think it was a Saturday, because like the NFL playoffs were on. I didn't watch any football this year because football is boring.
Yeah.
But I was like, the playoffs are on. I'll watch the playoffs. So I had the football game on my TV. But then there was I like fighting games. There was a big Mortal Kombat tournament on. So I put that on my laptop. And then I was like, well, the Mortal Kombat commentary is in Spanish. The football commentary sucks. So I put a podcast on. So I'm just like sitting in bed, like one screen showing one thing, got the football game on the TV with the podcast playing.
And you have like
I'm
a
scrolling on Twitter too on my phone.
Subway Surfers. Just,
Yeah.
Subway
Like
Surfer.
my attention span is just fried.
Yeah, exactly.
We do all of this like mass consumption of like multiple medias at the same time, but do y'all ever think about like how, at least for me, I'll sit there with those like 4 different things
Yeah.
going on, and then 10 minutes later when I'm done with it, won't remember a thing.
Mhm.
Like, is there a point to it? Like,
Yeah.
just sitting there.
it depends on what I'm listening to. I think
I don't remember.
some of them, like, obviously, like, if it's a stream of a guy doing like silly impressions, I'm gonna forget most of it except for the funny parts. But if it's like if they're talking about something that I care about, then yeah, I'll probably try to remember some of it. But for the most part, no, not really.
Yeah.
It goes in one ear out the other. So.
Yeah.
That's why I like video, because I'm gonna remember it. Like if I'm just listening to a podcast, I'm not going to remember much unless I write it down clearly. I guess that's just how my brain works. I'm not gonna remember it, just like Ari said.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like my memory for like things that are not important is too good. And like this is important, but I feel like this is like such a non-problem. But I feel like I have a problem with being too good at remembering people's names. Like if someone tells me their name once, it's like it's in the vault. Like I got it.
Really?
So you know everybody's name in
good.
here, like first
Yeah.
and last.
That is good.
Not last.
Okay.
So like sometimes I'll like act like I don't remember someone's name just
Oh
because
my
because I
goodness.
feel weird
Oh
that I
my
remember.
What?
That's so weird.
Like I get self-conscious. I'm like I shouldn't. Like someone told me this. Like I heard this person's name in passing one time. I shouldn't know what their name is.
No,
That's how you learn. That's how you learn people's names, I guess.
but you don't have to worry about the problem though of like people coming up to you and being like, "Oh, hey, writer," and then you don't have to like. Of course, it sounds like you're choosing to do this.
Yeah.
Like pretending not to know who they are, but that is the worst thing when it happens like once or twice, maybe even 3 times. Like I'm so bad with names.
Me too.
Yeah.
I didn't used to be, but now I am. I feel so bad, but because my attention span, it's shrunk over time. Like I could stare someone dead in the face and they tell me their name and I have no idea what they said because I'm thinking about something else completely different. And then I'm like, oh shoot, I just missed this person's name. And I'm like, oh crap. Like, especially on the phone when they're like, hi, this is so-and-so for, I don't know what, UNT Dallas. I would literally be like, oh shoot, what did they say their name was? I'm like, because I like to be the type of person that's like, thanks for helping me. Hannah, I can't think of a name right now, but I like to say stuff like that. But instead, I just have to say, okay, thank you, have a good day. And I have no idea what your name was. So it sucks. It's kind of sad.
It happens to me
yeah.
way too often when I go to the store. They're like, oh, like my name is such and such. Like, if you need any help, and then like they ask you at the register, like, oh, like who helped you? I'm like, oh, it's this
Yeah.
girl.
And I probably
Long
look like a creep
hair.
because I'll
Yeah.
like stare at their name tag, and it's like right there. And if it's a girl, I'm gonna be like, I'm not staring at your chest area. I promise you, I'm not. I'm trying to remember your name, and so I like have to like subtly look at their name tag as I'm like looking at their eyes, and I'm like, please don't think I'm a weirdo. I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah, I forget a lot of things, and I'm getting worried now because if it happens like few minutes ago, and then like as of now, I don't remember like what I did.
Yeah.
So sometimes it happens to me a lot, like way too often now
Mhm.
that I'm just like something's going on.
Yeah.
Like, there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
I need
Early onset
I need
Alzheimer's.
literally, I need to go
Jesus.
get myself studied or something because this is
Studied.
because this is a little bit too extreme now. I'm a little worried.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe my ability is wasted. My name remembering ability.
You're one of the
My
rare ones
superpower.
these days, I would say, because it's so bad. I feel so bad too. So if I forget your name, I know everyone's name in here, but I'd have to get to know you for a little while to remember your name. It's not because like I don't think you're important. It's just because my attention span is like now that of a child's, I guess. So
See, that's why I feel weird for remembering because I know most people don't. So I'm like, no, I'm the weird one because I remember your name.
No.
Once.
I would actually find that flattering if someone remembers my name, but then I'd feel bad if I'm like, oh crap, I don't remember your name. And I'd like try to play it off. Oh, hey, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
weird because sometimes I forget their names, but I know their birthdays.
Yes.
Which is really
Me
I know
too.
everyone's well, not everyone's, but like the people that are like in my life, I
Mhm.
know most of their birthdays.
Yeah.
But sometimes like I'd be forgetting their names.
Yeah.
Which happens a lot. But yeah, it's weird how I just remember that.
Yeah. It is really weird. But
Optional.
What?
Huh?
They sent a Discord message. We have practice today.
No, we don't. Don't listen to that.
I was gonna play anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna go there and just like play whatever.
not you
Um,
actually whispering, but
no,
whispering
I-
in the
Yeah,
microphone.
in the mic.
I can hear it better than they can.
That's
And I'm
true.
like, oh, you gotta whisper.
I know, I was
We'll
like,
derail the
why are we
conversation.
whispering?
I didn't know we had practice today.
Mm.
ASMR radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
ASMR.
it's really funny because like I live with my grandparents. It was really funny explaining to them like the esports team.
You should send them a link to the Twitch if we ever like,
No, I
because
think-
we don't get streamed unless like we're the only ones playing that day, or they have
Oh.
like a time difference or something. So just
Or
send
unless you
them.
accidentally go live.
Yeah, we accidentally pressed the button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the studio.
Technically, someone can come up here and like stream from like another account or something.
Oh,
Yeah, if they have like because they used to stream from here. Colin, yeah. This used to be the streaming room, but then they use the studio now.
yeah. It's really funny because
That's why this camera's here, I guess. So
it's like my like I said, my grandparents are interested in what I do, so they like ask me questions about like the esports.
what's an
stuff,
esport,
which
son?
is
Or
fun.
grandson?
You're a part of esports?
Yeah, I joined like last week. Or,
Oh,
like this week
nice.
on Monday.
Yeah.
How do you like it?
We got fried last time.
We kind of
we
got
got
cooked
cooked. Yeah,
because like they made me play a role that I wasn't very good at, so we kind of got cooked.
it's fun though.
So like
Yeah.
do you play with like against other people?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
Other
like
schools that have teams.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, pretty cool.
That's
it,
super
it was really
cool.
funny. In October, I went to a Mortal Kombat tournament, and like my grandpa like came with me
Really?
because he wanted to watch.
Whoa.
Because I made
that's cool.
I made the top 8 of the tournament, and the top 8 was like a separate day. So he's like, "Oh, I'll come with you and I'll watch." And
That
I'm
is
just
cool.
like, I'm just like, what does he think about this? And it was Mortal Kombat too, so it has like the really like violent like super moves.
Yeah,
And I was like, oh no, like
he's gonna see someone's
He's gonna think I'm
chest
a-
get
he's gonna
disintegrated.
think I'm like a weirdo.
He's like, we're failing him.
Hey, I won the money though, so
Hey.
Oh,
nice,
really?
nice.
yeah. I
How
won,
much
like,
was it? Can you disclose that?
Well, to sign up for the tournament, it was $70,
Mm-hmm.
and to
Oh,
play
yeah.
in the event was 10. And I made for getting second place. I made $150.
Okay.
you
So
made
like,
like
I made 70 net
Yeah.
profit. I
Let's
guess.
go.
Yeah, you got your
Let's
money
go.
back and some.
It paid
That's
for the
good.
game because the game's $70.
That's why? Why is it like $70?
Because
Corpus
it's
are
expensive.
greedy.
Because like they rented out like a hotel ballroom, so it was like a whole weekend event. So
How many people were there?
not a lot.
Yeah.
They wanted it to. I think they expected it to be a bigger event than it turned out to be. So like I got second place out of like 15 people.
Wait, where was it
Okay.
at?
It was at a hotel in Fort Worth.
Oh,
wow.
okay.
So like they rented out like the ballroom for the weekend.
Did they not have like an RSVP or something? Like, obviously you had to pay beforehand.
Oh yeah,
but I
yeah.
feel
You had
like
to
they
sign up
should've-
like I think to sign up the day of was more expensive because it's like inconvenient.
Yeah.
Because they, especially like for big tournaments, like Evo is like the biggest fighting game tournament. One of the games had 7,000 players over in a July. They you have to be signed up like 2 months before the event because
Yeah.
making the bracket is such a long process.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. Cool
That's
stuff.
fun.
E-sport.
Yeah.
How much did
Electronic
first place
sport.
get?
It would have been like, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't ask.
Maybe-
They beat me. I was pissed off.
Was it close? Was it close?
Yeah, well, because fighting game tournaments are double eliminations. You have to
Mhm.
Yeah.
you have to lose twice. I
Dude,
literally only lost to the guy that got first.
they held
Mm.
a Smash Brothers like open invitation like school tournament here. There's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a couple of schools from the area and like some like towards like Baylor and stuff. We got here at 1. Like I got here at like 11:30 to like help them set up.
Mhm.
They started at 1. I did not leave this building until 1 a.m.
Yeah.
I was
Oh
very
my
confused
God.
and
especially when
upset.
you stream stuff, it
Yeah.
takes a really long time. Because
Yeah.
I used to go to a Street Fighter tournament every day or every week over this past summer.
Mhm.
Not every day, every week.
Good Lord.
Yeah, and it was like I would say on average you'd get like 25-ish people a week.
Mhm.
And so the beginning of the tournament would go really quickly. You just have the guy announcing you're playing here, you're playing here, you're playing here.
Yeah.
It would go really fast, but then you get to the top 8 and they play every game on stream. So then top 8 takes like 3 hours.
Yeah. It was
And
crazy.
When I went to that tournament with my grandpa, Sunday was like the top 8 day. So it was all the top 8s.
Mhm.
And we got there and mine was supposed to be at whatever time, I don't remember, but they were really behind schedule. So me and my grandpa just sit and watch like a full Tekken 7 top 8, which took like 2 hours.
That's crazy, bro.
And
It
then
was,
the Mortal Kombat top 8 took like another 2 hours.
It was awful
Yeah.
though. It's like for Smash Brothers, they have like a team of 4, and it's double elimination,
Oh,
and you have 3 lives each. So like,
Jesus.
and like to
Yeah.
lose a life, it takes like what, like a minute maybe, or like 50 seconds or 40 seconds, like
Yeah.
times 3 with breaks in between each person coming up because they
Mhm.
strategize and they say, hey, press the B button this time.
Yeah.
Don't go left. I don't know. I don't know what they do. I'm just kind of there for support and helping break stuff down. And
Mhm.
it was an interesting thing because like they have their own little, I guess, culture. And I think
Smash is like separate.
they
Smash is like its own separate thing. Because like the FGC, I guess the fighting game community,
yeah
is it's kind of a big sphere, but then
Mhm.
Smash is kind of its own thing. I don't know because they seed local tournaments, which I think is bizarre.
it's I don't know. It's eye opening because it's like like you like I've been in like physical like because I used to play baseball like tournaments and stuff, so I can relate.
Yeah.
But to someone who doesn't like play sports or is into sports or doesn't know a whole lot about like seeding and tournaments and placement and
Mhm.
stuff, it can be really bizarre. Just kind of like sitting there
Yeah.
like, so they just beat them.
Yeah.
They're gonna play again. Everyone's gonna
Yeah.
take a turn, and it's what do they win? A VR headset? Can't they just buy one? Like that's what people would think. I would assume. So
Yeah, the Mortal Kombat tournament was funny because like I got second, and then so the top 8 on Sunday was literally just me and the guy who got first, like mauling the bracket, and then we played each other and he beat me twice. But like none of the other matches were like even close. So I could imagine it wasn't a very fun spectator experience.
wow.
So, like,
There
back
are like
to
no tournaments around here anymore, which makes me sad.
I would think it was the opposite though, because like Texas is big and there's a lot of people,
Yeah, there's
especially in
a-
cities and
There's
stuff.
like I don't know if it's considered a major, but it's like a pretty big tournament in Houston every year called Texas Showdown.
Mhm.
I think last year they had like over 1,000 people. So I'm gonna try to go to that this year because I really like competing. I don't really get the chance to do it as much, at least like in person. It's like I could do an online tournament, but like
It's no fun.
that's no fun. Like it's fun sitting next to a guy and beating him and then shaking his hand.
Watch him comically throw his
and
controller
taking his
over his
money.
shoulder. Yeah, take his money.
Is commentary wild when like y'all play in person?
No, but like we make it kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like if someone's like, I think there's a clip, I clipped it of like Colin. He's like, oh, he's gonna go for it, and he just like erupts into a sneeze, and it sounds really like sounds like he's like throwing up a demon, and he like mutes his mic halfway through, and it's silent for like 20 seconds, and then like Edvin says something like, let's say bless you to Colin in the chat or something. Like it's
is this streamed on Twitch?
yeah, it is.
Oh, what's the Twitch user?
Twitch
UNTD
dot-
esports.
Yeah,
UNTD.
Twitch dot or you what twitch.tv/
Yeah.
UNTD
esports, right?
esports.
Oh.
And
There it
we have
is.
practice today, which
Mm.
I was not.
It's an optional practice. It's like
Well, they said in person or remote. So this,
I mean, like, no offense.
Is there a lot of people in these sports right now?
There's actually
I
more
joined
now
on
than there
Monday.
was. Yeah, partly because people like Ryder join. Like I try to get people to join because I don't know if I should say this. Like it's well it's not like controversial. Like the more people you have in a program, the more funding it's gonna get.
Yeah.
It's just
And
good to have more
obviously-
people in it.
Yeah, and like those computers are really expensive and they're
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
Like 300, like it's like nerd numbers, like 300 frames.
Mhm.
It never like really overheats or like
6
crashes or anything.
terashits.
You can probably 6 tera poops,
Yeah.
gigaflops, like a bunch of numbers, and
Yeah.
I think they're building a new room.
They are.
They're
Oh yes, downstairs by the Mac lab, right?
yes, when
I
they're
used to go
holding
in there
a
and study.
yeah.
Not no more.
One of our friends, he didn't like that y'all did that. He's like, man, I hate when they go in there and they're like, guys, close the door so no one goes in there. He didn't like that. I don't know why.
Who was that person?
I don't know.
You do.
Name undisclosed.
Name undisclosed.
Mm,
He didn't like hate you guys or anything. He was just like, man,
you really dislike this.
it's like they're always going in that room, locking the door or something. I don't know.
Well,
didn't
the
really
thing
care.
is that we would call police to open the doors.
Mhm.
We didn't know that they would use it. We
Yeah,
weren't aware. There wasn't a sign.
a lot of these rooms do say collaborative study, and they're just locked for no
Mhm.
reason. I guess I don't know. I guess it's like a safety thing or something. But I mean, if it says study in there, just go in there and study. I don't know. I don't see any harm in it.
Yeah.
But now it's a esports arena.
I just imagine every time I see the word arena and esports, for some reason I am imagining like a Beyblade. Like
Yeah.
just a big Beyblade arena.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what y'all would be doing in there, just sitting with
Sitting
your
on a computer.
computers. Like it's comically large, so y'all look like ants.
Is that room like I don't know if
There-
That
I've
room
been-
isn't. They
No.
broke down the wall actually
Oh,
between
okay.
that room and
Oh yeah.
in the hallway that
you.
you like go to get to the Mac lab or something. There's like a door with a small room. That room is now like they're conjoined because they broke the wall down or something like that. It's not even bigger than the old one, I don't think, but it's cool. They have a new room. They have standing desks and
I might
a little
try that.
neon
I
light.
know. My friends have called me a freak for this. A lot of the time when I play video games, because I play on console, I don't play PC that much. I play like standing up,
Mm.
and all my friends have called me like insane.
You have like a big TV in your living room that you stand in front of.
My
Okay.
TV's like mounted on the wall, so
I found that weird. I would play games on like a little monitor like this or like a smallish
yeah.
TV. But if I ever like moved my when I was like 16, my console to my living room, sitting down and just like looking up and it felt weird, and standing up felt weirder. So I would not want to play on the big screen in the living room. It's a little awkward.
It
yeah. Like
feels
when I would go to like fighting game tournaments, it was always because like especially fighting games I would play standing up. It would always be weird to have to sit with like a small monitor next to someone.
Hmm.
But then it's really fun though. I love it.
I think like you mentioned the Beyblade stuff.
Oh.
I've seen a few videos of like people who still do it or like just old like meme videos, like famous videos.
Mhm.
I saw one of they're like spinning around. They hit cling cling cling, and then one explodes. Is that like do you know anything about Beyblade or
No.
I guess that's like I don't know. I guess that line of questioning or conversation just kind of died, but it's cool seeing people still playing with like Beyblades and destroying property.
Yeah.
And like everyone's like, whoa.
that gives me like flashbacks to elementary school. What did you say?
To what? Wait,
you were
what?
gonna say
Oh,
something
no,
earlier.
I was
Beyblade
just
trauma?
I was just gonna say it's awkward passing by like the little gaming lounge,
Mhm.
like going to the Mac lab because sometimes it's like packed in there, and then like as I'm passing by, I just see like all eyes turn that way, and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Don't look at me! Get
They're
back
so
to your
weird
computers,
sometimes.
please!" It's funny because that door is like always open,
Mhm.
and
That room gets hot when they
I
close it.
I
of
can
course.
tell.
In there,
It
dude. Oh my
does.
god.
I can tell.
And
Yeah.
You got all
some-
the hot computers and the sweaty gamers in there. Isn't there like deodorant in there?
Actually,
Hey, whoa,
Pointed
hold
that
on. We're
out.
not running I guess,
So I'm not putting a hit
anti-advertisement.
piece
Yeah, holy
on
moly.
on the esports.
We want more people to join the program,
Yeah.
not
Oh my gosh.
not be
There's
swayed away
ni-
from it.
1984 projected. There is no deodorant in the esports room.
Y'all,
They used to keep some in there, but people need to take showers, bruh. I don't know how there's no physical activity other than like nanocalories in your fingers.
No, you're playing Smash, you're popping off. That's physical activity.
Have you ever sweated like before? Honestly, like playing a video game?
Like physically sweat?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
That's crazy.
That's intense.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in someone's brain to have them produce sweat droplets. But
Yeah, I thought it was more of a metaphorical expression, not
No.
literally.
I've had like very funny experiences with like, well, that sounds weird, like sweat before, but like I used to be in debate. It's I don't know. I would recommend people at least.
I believe that.
Yeah, I recommend people that like no one's listening, right? Or a couple of people are listening, but you should if you're in high school or whatever, take a few years of debate. You learn a lot of stuff. And you learn a lot of stuff about like weird people who do debate as well. But
Thank you.
yeah, I was in a debate with my partner, and those things last like 40 minutes. And like we were doing like varsity, which we had never done before, and he was like reading. And we're supposed to be like the negative side, like, oh, don't do this thing, or oh, do this thing. We were on the don't do it side. And he's reading, and I'm like, I didn't really care. I liked it because it was funny. Like there are funny things that happened. Like you can do a performance app they call. Oh no, I'm being stopped by the professor. But oh yeah, basically, so I guess to wrap it up, funny conclusion story.
Join debate.
Join debate. But no, he was like reading, and like he was a really logical guy. Like he taught me how to debate and everything, and he didn't really make any mistakes. But like as he's reading, I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound like a card that we usually read. And then like a couple of droplets of sweat like hit the ground. I look up because I'm sitting down, and he's like, you're supposed to stand while you read the cards. He's like sweating. He's sweating, like spreading. They call it like spreading speed reading or whatever. He's like going like a mile a minute when it comes to like words and pronunciation and stuff. And he's like, he wipes his sweat off, kind of puts it on my desk, and I'm like, dude, are you okay? Like, it was a surreal experience. But I guess in conclusion, do debate or don't. If you're a sweaty guy, don't do debate because you're gonna get really nervous. But yeah, I mean, I guess it is 2:20, and I think we are wrapping up now because it's the end of class. And
Thank you for tuning in.
thank you for tuning in.
Talking about a bunch of junk.
You'll be back soon.
We will be back soon.
Yes.
We
Yes.
will be back.
Stay
soon.
tuned.
Yes, this one monitor
good
isn't
one.
showing up,
Yeah, it's been like blacking in and out.
and it's just not going to show up because they don't want to end or something. I don't know.
Would you rather have the webcam on?
Probably
it's
not.
still-
Because
I
then
can go either way. I mean, the only reason I'm using
Jessica
the
doesn't feel
webcam
comfortable.
is to tap into YouTube.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, there it goes.
Bye. Oh, there's no one there.
And so-